radio still matters. Because real conversations still matter. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Hello and good morning. Welcome into the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, and YouTube. I am Jake Underwood, the man behind the glass. It's still Seth Williams. The meeting went well. Hello, Seth.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Meeting went well. Yes,
Good.
indeed.
Yes. And you're still here.
Well, it went all right.
Oh, well. Oh, you're still here.
You told me not to be paranoid about him.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, just in general, don't be paranoid.
Well, that's just me.
Well, then knock it off. That's how that works. It's Friday, July 31st. It is Friday, so that means, of course, it's Open Lines Ohio. We'll talk whatever you want whenever you call. We do have some things to talk about, though. There was an explosion of a house in Canton, and it shook the entire neighborhood. We'll tell you the details of that. We're going to start doing, because we're getting closer and closer to the election, we're going to do a Ohio governor's race week in review. And just go through the different things that happened with different endorsements, things that were said, if people are mad and if they're not. Last night, Vivek Ramaswamy was booed off the stage at the Young Americans for Liberty convention in Cincinnati. I think he forgot at one point that he was in Ohio, but we'll break all that down. He gave a speech to young people who want to know about affordability, telling them to be winners and not whiners. So that tells you he's really got his finger on the pulse of everything going on. Amherst, they say no thank you to the AI data centers. They don't want them. They don't want them. And we'll give you the details of that. And as I said, well, of course, it's a Friday, so that means it's Open Lines Ohio. We talk whatever you want, whenever you call. But when it comes to the week in review, we're just going to dive right into it, because both sides at this point, they are just taking shots at each other, and that's where we get to follow along with it and make sure that we stay on top of it. We're going to start with Amy Acton and some of the things that have happened with her this week, just to make sure that, you're up to date on it. So when it comes to AI data centers and Amy Acton, she's called for things to slow down a little bit. She wants projects to meet certain requirements involving the ratepayer protection, which, of course, we had the White House Assistant Press Secretary on Monday to talk about the pledge that the Trump administration made when it comes to that. Also, infrastructure costs, labor, environmental protections, farmland/brownfields, and community benefits. We spoke about that a little bit yesterday, about the farmlands versus the brownfields. She released her first TV ad. Seth, have you seen that? Have you?
I have not.
You have? To be fair, I haven't either. But there's some positive feedback. The big thing that happened with her campaign this week was she was doing an interview with the Toledo Blaze, and they asked her about trans rights and men and women's sports, and she said she's not a fan. Basically, she said, look, when it comes down to it, the governor signed a law, and I'm going to uphold that law that was passed. And so the LGBTQ groups, they were losing their minds. So then the Acton campaign, they actually met with an LGBTQ plus group, 40 plus representatives there of that group. And they are upset because Amy Acton was not in attendance. She did not go. So right now, the way that stands, Amy Acton has a pending rating.
A pending.
A pending. So like a letter grade A, but it is pending with that organization. We'll keep you on top of that. She also talked about some endorsements, different things here and there. Not really doing a lot of events. I know that she's gone from like neighborhood to neighborhood, doing different things like that. So I mean, that's where her campaign sits currently. For Vivek Ramaswamy, he kicked off the week. He started off in Worcester and Wayne County on Monday. He went to a meeting out there with a bunch of the GOP. I know the Wham Young Republicans, by the way, just a reminder, we are doing a show, the Young Republican Show, myself and fellow Young Republicans. We're going to have James Lawrence and Alex Mortensen. They're going to be in here on Friday, August 14th to break down different things, and it's going to be in Open Lines, Ohio, so we'll take calls. We'll talk about the different things going on there. Let's see. So Vivek, for the most part, he was all over Ohio. So he started off on Tuesday. He was in Worcester/Wayne County. He held a little event there, answered some questions and different things. And right now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of giving the overlay. We're going to dive into different things. And the campaign also, they released some goofy clips of Amy Acton. I'll play one of them here because this is the one that was kind of going viral. This is Yeah, we'll play it. It's goofy.
Just to be a human being here. I've had this feeling in my gut of like, I'm holding Ohio in my arms and I'm like single-handedly like, be gone, virus, stay out.
So it's goofy. Don't get me wrong. It's goofy, but you know what? At the same time, that's how a lot of people on the left talk. They're goofy like that. I'm just saying. But
You can't look. It is kind of weird, but I don't really find it offensive or
What?
really like upsetting to me.
what do you mean? Don't you know that you're supposed to be mad about that?
There's nothing really on that clip to get mad about. Like I said, it's silly, but
What? No, I saw all over social media and the Ohio GOP and other people. They posted that clip, and they said that you should be mad that that's how she was talking about Ohio when everybody was sick and she was doing the stuff with the COVID there.
No, I don't find it really all that bad. And I'm a Republican voter.
Impossible. That's what I say. You're fake news. And you know what, Seth? I think it's development. And that he is more pro-development than Amy Acton on data centers and does not support her condition for statewide moratorium approach. He was also in Claremont County for a scheduled campaign event. That's actually today. He's going to be there at the Claremont County Fair. It was last week, but I wanted to make sure because, look, I know there's goofy stuff going on with the campaign and us. They won't come on here. So I guess if we did a countdown, should we do a countdown? I mean, it's 10 days.
Yeah.
10 days since they officially said they're not coming on.
10 days.
10 days.
Well, 10. Yeah, 10 days.
Yeah, 10 days. I mean, if we go back to March when they blew us off because they said really was no primary to worry about.
That's what they said.
Yeah, no, we're going months. But yeah, no, we're going to go from the official. I can't believe you said this. How can you think we're going to come on and answer questions? But as I said, I'm going to try to be as fair as possible here because that's our job. I'm not going to let personal feelings or the fact that I'm bummed that the guy won't come on to talk to, a young Republican, even though he says he supports young Republicans. I'm not going to let that get in the way. So he did receive the FOP endorsement. He actually entered the week. He got the Fraternal Order of Police of Ohio. That's an important endorsement because you want to have the support of the police. That's an incredible endorsement. He also received the Ohio Chamber of Commerce PAC endorsement, but I believe that came before this week. So basically, the main thing is this. This is what came out of this week from the candidates on the data centers. Amy Acton, she wants a moratorium plus tougher requirements. Ramaswamy said he is more pro-development. As it comes to campaigning itself, Amy Acton, she rolled out some policy. She also had the first major television ad. Ramaswamy, heavy on the groundwork. He's going to different events and talking to people. When it comes to Acton's campaign, a little bit of friction when it comes to the LGBTQ organization. With Ramaswamy, he met with black pastors and community leaders. When it comes to the problems they're facing, the transgender sports take was not great for the Acton campaign when it comes to the LGBTQ support. And Ramaswamy being booed and heckled at the Young Republicans of Liberty convention did not help them out. And we're going to take a break, and we're actually going to dive into that a little bit with everything that went on there, and we'll get into other stories. This is Open Lines Ohio. We're going to talk whatever you want, whenever you call, and I'm going to say this one more time before we go to break. I'm going to say this again because I want to make sure people understand. I'm not trying to tear anybody down, nothing like that, but I'm going to call it how it looks. And if I think somebody's screwing up and I think that they're just running their mouths to run their mouths, I'm going to call it out. It's nothing personal. But if the campaign is doing a terrible job, they're doing a terrible job. And I'm going to call any campaign out like that, especially as we get closer, because I don't want you falling for the same crap we fall for time and time again, just because they stand up there and they say all the right things that make you go, ooh, that's what an American should say. No, we're seeing through that. We're cutting through it all. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this. Hey,
voice is part of this show. Call in and join us. The Jake Underwood Show, live and local on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420. The Answer. I want to correct something. I misspoke there a little bit. It's not the Young Republican Liberty Convention. So I misspoke, and somebody corrected me on that. Thank you. It was YALCON, which is the Young Americans for Liberty. So it's not the Young Republicans for Liberty. It's the Young Americans for Liberty. So if I misspeak on this, I apologize, because you got the Young Republicans, Young Conservatives, Young Americans, younger people, older people. It's but I want to make sure that I get that right. So YALCON is a convention with the Young Americans for Liberty organization, and the whole thing this year, they have their platform that they build on, and this is more for like the younger libertarians, the people who believe in liberty. That's what they're going towards. So, and listen, I know the libertarians are goofy. All right, I'm just going to come out and I'm going to make sure that I make that extremely clear that they are goofy. But either way, these are people that, for the most part, vote conservative. So these are the people that Vivek and his campaign are going to have to win over. These are the younger voters. You have the Turning Point younger crowd, you have the Young Republican younger crowd, and then you have the younger libertarians. So the whole program was about these were their they have four things that they're organizing around, and it's building, electing, passing, and ideas. So they want to build how to build the organization, make it better, elect when it comes to campaigning, running for office, and winning elections, passing, getting legislation through at the state level, all these different things, and then ideas, libertarian and liberty-oriented policy and philosophy, including free markets, money, all that good stuff. Some of the speakers that were there, you had Ron Paul, you have Rand Paul. So Rand Paul's had a busy week.
Yeah. Was Fauci there?
Fauci was not there.
Oh.
You know what? I plead the fifth.
I was wondering if he said that.
Yeah, no, I plead the fifth. But so like historically, Tulsi Gabbard's been there. I know Bobby spoke there. I think in 24, maybe. Yeah, I think in 24 he spoke there. President Trump spoke there. That's when they had the Kennedy campaign. We passed out chickens because they were chicken to debate us, like, because that's where you do the goofy stuff, the stuff that gets the attention. That's where you do it. Is usually the libertarian conventions. That's just how that goes. But YALCON. Back to that. So, yeah, they've had people like Ron Paul speak there. Rand Paul, Vivek has spoken there. Obviously, Tulsi Gabbard, like I said, a bunch of different people. This year, they were going to have Rand Paul, Vivek Ramaswamy, Dave Smith, Glenn Jacobs, and Afro Man, among others.
Afro Man.
Well, yeah, because of the whole lawsuit thing.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Do you actually?
Yes.
Lemon pound cake?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. So the reason why this is important, because you have people like Glenn Jacobs, who is a staunch Republican. He's one of the top Republicans in the movement right now. He's the mayor of Knoxville County. You may also know him as Kane from the WWE, the wrestler Kane. Afro Man. For the people that don't know, some police broke into his house. They said they were searching for something. They didn't have the proper papers, all these different things. They found a bunch of money, put some money in the pocket. Now Afro Man has security cameras all over his house. They found it. They were found guilty. Afro Man has made songs about the police that did that. It's a whole thing. It's absolutely insane. But there was a whole court case about it, and Afro Man won. So when it comes to personal liberties and different things like that, Seth, I know the face you're making. I know it sounds ridiculous. All of this sounds ridiculous. Yeah, the guy who's famous for Because I Got High and Colt 45 is leading the charge for some younger people when it comes to standing up for your personal liberties. Only in America.
Yeah, I was gonna say
only in America, which makes it a great thing.
I want to be called Afro Man.
Well, you don't have an afro, so I don't know that that's really possible. But so when it comes to to YALCON, it's kind of a big deal for the younger people. I've never been there, but I've always kind of paid attention to it in the background. Last night, Vivek was one of the speakers there. And it just, from the moment he walked out on the stage, it was not good. He was introduced to come out on the stage. Like I said, I would play the full speech, but the issue is the cussing from the crowd starts immediately. And it's a 15-minute. He was up there on the stage. And I'm going to be honest with you, I got through like the first 5-6 minutes, and it was like every 10 to 15 seconds, it was a bleep, 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 because this footage is taken from the crowd. So they're sitting there, so you hear the crowd reaction. This went viral last night. If you saw it, I know there are going to be some people that go, "Oh, why are you covering this? This is so unfair." Because it's news. Because it's important to realize, because I'm going to say it again about Vivek and his campaign. You won the GOP, and you did a good job winning the GOP. In the primary, you won every county. But what are you doing to attract those independent voters? And I can make the argument, it's easy to win an election when you pretty much are running unopposed.
And what are you doing to keep the people that are questioning you? Because I know
you're not allowed to question him.
I know a lot of people that are on the Republican side that are sitting there going, "What is this guy doing?"
Yeah,
and they want answers too, not just us. And you can not take it personally. I take it personally. What happened?
Now, see, here's the thing. I'm not going to take it personally because I don't.
That's fine. I'm saying me personally, I take it personally.
Well, I understand.
As a voter, I take it personally.
As a voter, I take it personally too. But as somebody who has to sit here and I'm going to have to talk about the stuff that he's doing, I don't want it to have a lean to it. I want it to be as fair as possible. You know what I mean?
But I'm speaking not as a producer. I'm speaking as a voter. To me, I find it offensive that he won't go on a radio show to answer questions.
I find it ridiculous. I don't even find it offensive. Like, if we're talking about me, the voter, I think it's sad. I think it's sad that they put somebody up there who he can't handle it. He can't handle it. And I'm not saying that to be mean or anything like that. Like, this is the guy. I got a clip. Here we go. This is a guy who, to try to get attention when he was running for president, he's at the Iowa State Fair, one of the largest fairs. They have the caucus and everything else there, right?
Yes, they do.
This is the guy who decided, when I go up there to speak, I'm going to rap. I'm going to sing some Eminem. So if you needed your motivation on a Friday, here it is.
Loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's joking how everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, plow, snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up that easy. I
just want to tell people, no, we did not change formats. This is Vivek Ramaswamy. Don't forget, he did this in Iowa. What that would have been 2-3 years ago now, when he was running for president, telling people not to lose themselves, even though I think he lost himself. But just a reminder, this is what he did. This is what he does. He's got to get the clicks. And last night, the reason why it didn't go over so well is because I think the people there lost themselves. I think he lost himself in the sauce and just the moment of it all. It's about a 20-second clip. I'm going to play it, then we're going to take a break. And I'm going to break down just where all of this went sideways. But in speaking in front of a younger crowd, one that is concerned about the debt, one is that is concerned about, and we've talked about it here, housing prices, all these different things. He told them to be a winner, not a whiner.
Not only did we lose more people than all wars combined, it's actually a grave security risk.
Is that me?
As you know, they...
Yeah, not me.
No, that's me. Wrong clip. Sorry about that. That was Amy Acton. We're not there yet. But he told people to be a winner, not a whiner. And this was the reaction towards the end of the speech.
The truth of the matter is, no matter what happens in whichever direction we go, people of my generation who've already made it, we're going to be fine. It's going to be your generation that pays the price. That choice belongs to you.
You're a political cretin, and you need to get the out of here.
And that's when Vivek walked off the stage. You heard that correct. One of the people in attendance called him a political cretin and told him to get the bleep out. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to break this down. And I got Amy Acton clips also. So, don't worry. I know everybody wants to defend somebody who won't even come on air and defend himself, but I guess that's what voters are used for now. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this. right.
He won't give up that easy. No,
Yep.
he won't relax and he knows
Let's go,
it don't
Vivek.
matter that he's broke. It
Give
don't
it to
matter
me.
that he's broke. He don't matter that he's broke.
That's right.
He won't stack that he knows
Yeah.
he goes back to this mobile home.
He's singing Lose Yourself.
Back to the lab again.
Back to the lab again, yo.
You better go catch
That's
this
right.
moment. Hope they don't catch it.
Yeah.
Lose yourself in the music.
There you
The
go.
moment it's wrong. That was the song.
That was the song. Thank you. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show. That, of course, is candidate for Republican candidate for governor Vivek Ramaswamy. That's when he was singing "Lose Yourself." Maybe if he did that last night at Yalcon, he wouldn't have gotten booed out of the building.
Maybe if he understood that Eminem does not like Republicans.
What? Huh? Eminem doesn't like Republicans.
Maybe he wouldn't have been singing that song.
Well, here's the thing. I think the problem is Vivek may have lost himself. See what I?
It appears.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Something,
Jeez,
right?
look.
So we're gonna play that clip again of what was said last night. So I'm actually just gonna play what he said. So let me explain. Like I said, this was a 15-minute speech, right around there. Like I said, I have it here. It's 14 minutes actually. And look, you have to be able to know how to talk to voters if you're running for office, right? You have to. So I'll give you an example. You wouldn't go into a rich. You wouldn't go to an event where there's a lot of rich people and talk about poor people problems. You wouldn't do that. So maybe going to Yalcon, which is filled with a bunch of libertarians, and saying this, because I really want you to understand, this was 14 minutes of a speech where he sat there and he said, "We here in America, the way you get your opportunities is to be winners, not whiners. Winners." What are we doing? Like, really, what are we doing here? Because we talk about inflation being up. We talk about all these things. And he said the one thing, he said the quiet part out loud, and what a lot of young voters feel the quiet part is. And that's where like I said, he walked out and they were booing. He walked out and they were booing right off the rip. So right there, it was hostile territory. I give him credit for going up there and continuing to speech, the speech. I give him credit for that. Because that is the hard part. You're already in a hostile situation. And I will say this, because it was taken from a portion of the crowd, I don't doubt that there were people cheering. You kind of hear the people cheering when he goes up there, but it's some loud boos. That, you know what? In fact, that I can play, because that part there weren't any bad words in that part of it. So I'm actually going to play that for you. So this is when he first walked out, just to tell you the environment that he was walking into. Oh, maybe. Stand by. Here we go. So this is the environment that he was walking into. So I may have embellished a bit. I thought that there were some cheers.
No.
So I apologize.
I heard a clap.
There was a clap. Yeah, there was a clap. Yeah, I didn't think. I apologize. I didn't think it was that bad.
Man, that was rough.
Okay. Well, I tried. That's okay. So I apologize. I thought that there were some cheers in there. Okay. So, and you know, he starts talking about things. He talks now. You have to understand, this is for the most part, this is a libertarian-focused convention. And I will say this, I know young Republicans were there, I know young independents were there. There were different people from all different political backgrounds, but that mostly lean right. So this is the audience that he should be winning. Honestly, this is 18-year-old Jake, this is 18-year-old Seth. I assume you leaned right when you were younger? Okay. So these are the younger, and I know it's not associated with the young Republicans. I want to make sure I make that perfectly clear, because they actually put out a tweet that they were like, "Hey, this got nothing to do with us." Like that's how this is going over. They're going, "This isn't us." So these are young, right-leaning individuals that are libertarian. There were probably some young Republicans there because you're in the area. It's a political convention. You like politics. You're like, hey, let's go check out the convention, which is not a crazy thing. That happens. So while he was up there, I mean, he did cover some things. Like I said, it was a 14-minute speech. I can play bits and pieces. I cannot play the whole thing because, like I said, people were upset with some of the stuff that he was saying. So here he talks about the real threat to America. He talks about it. Now, for me, if I'm looking at this, I would say the real threat to America is the diminishing middle class. How job opportunities are leaving because this country is only as strong as the middle class. This state is only as strong as its middle class. When Ohio was doing incredibly, or any state when they were doing incredibly, but especially here in Ohio, it's when Cleveland was good. It's when Cincinnati was good. When Toledo was making glass. You had Akron making rubber. You had Youngstown doing what Youngstown does. But you had those major cities doing what they were good at and what they had to do. And you made sure that they had the opportunity to do it. And then what did you see? You saw those areas start to build up to the point that Cleveland at one point, as we all know, was called the best location in the nation. That's what it was called. That's not fake news. It's not fake news at all. That's very real. It was considered the best location in the nation because it had opportunity. Middle class, it was one of those where you could actually go to Cleveland, get a good paying job, and you could build yourself up. That's what it was. And that's gone away. And we have the fear of the AI data centers, which once again we'll talk about it. Amherst said, nah to that. So now you have the fear of the AI data centers taking jobs. You walk into Walmart, you can hardly pay for groceries, and then on top of it, now you have to do the work yourself with the self-checkout. We're seeing all these things go away. So that, to me, and a lot of people I know, they would say that is one of the biggest threats to this country. That's what we're worried about. We're worried about jobs leaving. We're worried about these things. And look, I'm not putting this just on Vivek. I'm not. This has been going on for a long time. So I don't want people to think that I'm sitting here just hammering Vivek on all of this, because I'm not. But to be fair, he's running for governor. So he's got to answer questions as much as he and his campaign don't want him to. But this is what he feels is the real threat to the country right now.
The real threat to the country, I'll start with this, is the rise of socialism in the United States of America. This is spreading across the country like wildfire.
So the real threat to this country is the spread of socialism. I want to point this out because I don't know that anybody's put these two things together. When these politicians, whether it be the Democrats or the Republicans, are talking about the spread of socialism, you're admitting you didn't do your job right. If socialism is spreading as far and as wide as they say that it is, even though when you look at the numbers, it's 90,000 people, which is nowhere near what the Tea Party was. 90,000 people identify as a democratic socialist in this country. When you sit there and you go, the biggest threat to this country is socialism. It's very bad. When you do that, you're admitting Republicans and Democrats didn't do their job. You're admitting that they're not even willing to work together. So what happened? Something else had to rise up. You're admitting that. I don't know if you realize that you're admitting that in the moment. And that's not just Vivek. That's all of the above. When people are sitting there and they're complaining about the fact that socialism is becoming popular, that means that the system that you're supposed to run, the system that you were handed, you're the running back, they handed it off. You're supposed to carry it for a touchdown or at least gain yards. Instead, we're running 15 yards backwards. It's like watching a Browns game. But you're supposed to take that and you're supposed to carry it forward. So when you're sitting there and you're talking about how, well, this whole system's a failure, and then people are going to a different system, and this is the issue, you're admitting that you failed. And Vivek's been a leader in the party for a few years now, so that he can take a little blame on. He's been a leader in the party for a few years. So when they want to sit there and they want to talk about this rise of socialism, well, that's because Democrats and Republicans didn't do the job that they were supposed to do. That's what that means. So while they were sitting there, talking for clips, oh, we got those clips. Oh, that's going to look great on Twitter. I'll get a donation from that. And we continue to suffer, and it continues to get worse and worse. We don't even have a say in a primary anymore. Something fell off. Something's not going right. And it's on both sides. That's why you're seeing new things pop up. So you could sit there and talk about how it's a real threat, but had the parties and had the candidates and had the people who were elected done their job, and this isn't on everyone. There are some people that they still do their job each and every day. They listen to the people that they're supposed to represent, and they go and they do what they need to do. Those people, they're fine. Actually, for the most part. They don't complain about it, but it is a talking point for the party right now, so they're going to address it because it's good. It gets the clicks, it gets the headlines. Headlines, hey now. But had they done their job, this wouldn't be a threat at all. Had the people still believed in the system, this wouldn't be a threat at all. But here we are. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to continue to break this down a little bit more, the different things that were said. And I'm going to replay what was said that really was the tipping point for that group. And I will say this, because look, I do the negative, but I'm also going to talk about the positive too. I give him credit for staying up there while he's getting booed off the stage. And he tried to finish what he was saying. I'll give him credit for that. But you can't go to every event and have the same speech. A little effort, please. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're also on X, Rumble, and YouTube. And if you really want to see behind the scenes, head over to TikTok. We're streaming live right now. And thank you to everybody who's in there. We're over 2,000 likes in like the last 15 minutes, which is great. So thank you so much for that support. Seth was in there at one point.
Yeah, pretty cool in there.
It's pretty active.
Good little crowd there in
Yeah.
the TikTok room.
So yeah, if you want to see that, hop in there. Look, we're trying to get as much publicity as we can. That's how this works here. Right? That's how that works.
Right, I mean,
right.
Gotta do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. That's exactly right. And that's I feel like that's where the Vivek campaign is right now. You got to do what you got to do. And if you're just
go on shows and do interviews.
Well, listen. To quote the President Trump song, you can't always get what you want. You can try sometimes. You just might find you'll get what you need. And, yeah, we're getting what we need because we're getting speeches and different things that we can break down that we're able to talk about here on the Jake Underwood Show here, AM 1420, The Answer. And so what we're talking about is last night, Vivek Ramaswamy, a Republican candidate for governor here in Ohio. And, look, I'm also going to have Amy Acton clips. And the same way we're breaking this down, I'll also break down Amy Acton stuff. We've done that in the past. But what we're talking about right now is it didn't go well. It did not go well. Vivek was booed off the stage. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, owned. That's the way it's being reported. That's the way the videos go. And I'll give him credit. Because I'm gonna be fair here. Both negative and positive here. He was up there. I mean, the moment he walked out there, he was booed. He stayed up there for 14 minutes. He talked to him.
Yeah, it was not good.
A
hostile crowd.
To say the least, yes. Yeah. And we broke down what he was saying about the biggest threat to the country is socialism. It's that evil socialism. And yeah, no, it is. Don't get me wrong. Socialism's killed more people than anything.
And
it
look,
just has.
A new poll actually says 75% of Democrats are going to support the Democrat socialist agenda.
Oh, that's because the Democrats aren't doing their job.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, look. Here's the thing, and I know people might get mad, but Seth, you be my litmus test, and I ask you every time we go off when we go into a commercial break. I go, was I fair? So I'm going to ask you live on air as I say this. Tell me if I'm fair or not. The same way that Republicans got sick and tired of those lactose, just milk toast, just milk, just plain candidates. The same way they got sick and tired of that, and the same people up there with their smiles and, well, thank you so much. I'm thinking Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney was the one. Right. The same way they got sick and tired of those type of Republicans, and then Donald Trump came along, and then MAGA took over. I'm not saying it's good or bad. We're just talking straight fact here. The same way MAGA took over the Republican Party, you can make the argument that the Democratic Socialist is kind of the same thing to the Democrats in the sense of, this is where we got to start listening. We got to really move forward with this. This is the section that's going to take over and possibly lead things for a little bit.
I think that's absolutely fair. This is like the new MAGA Democrat style.
And here's the problem with it. It's all just moving to the left. See, here's the thing. Before it was, the Democrats would drive up the spending. The Republican would get in office, and they would drive down the spending. And it was checks and balances that way. You'd have the Democrats drive up, and then the Republicans bring down a little bit. And then up and down and up and down. And then it just stopped. And it's just getting worse and worse to the point both Elizabeth Warren and President Trump are going, get rid of that debt ceiling. The debt ceiling's just getting in the way, quite frankly. We need to spend more, way more. And that's concerning to people. And as it should be. I can't just decide to apply for a credit card and apply for another one and another one and another one. There's a whole process that you have to go through because you can only have so much debt, hence the ceiling. You shouldn't be taking on more debt than you can handle. So Vivek last night, what?
Oh, I'm saying you're absolutely right in what you're saying. I mean,
okay, all right.
It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out what's going on here. The problem that I have with the Democrat Socialist side is that they're winning elections. And if they end up getting any kind of control, they could fundamentally change our government and not for the better.
Well, hold on, Seth. Let me say one thing there, because you said that you look at the Democratic Socialists and they're winning elections. They're winning primaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're winning primaries.
The polls show that the Democrats on this side, on the left, are more motivated to go out and vote come November than Republicans. And if we end up losing some of these things to these crazy people, the government, as we know it, could fundamentally change.
So that's interesting because I saw a poll, and I'll have to find it. It's in a text thread. I was going back and forth with some people that it actually said among younger voters, Democratic socialism's down 3%.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just watching Fox, and they showed.
Oh, well, yeah, no, Fox is going to say that's the boogeyman, so everybody stays tuned to Fox. No, we're going to tell you the truth here. We're not going to tell you things that scare you, so you keep listening. Yeah, Democratic socialism down, I think it was 3% with younger voters. So who are the people that are out there voting for this? Is it the same people that are,
white liberal women?
I was going to say, is it the same people that are 50 years old and they're standing out on the corner with their hats and their signs and they're freaking and screaming at people?
Yeah, it's the No Kings people.
Okay, so it's not the younger people at all?
I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you that. But yeah, going back to what Vivek was talking about. So yeah, what he said that really just turned everything off. This was the breaking point. I'll play it again. I'm not playing this to be unfair. This is what was said. So he's talking about the whole theme of this speech. About halfway through, is you have to be winners, not whiners. Because when you whine against the system, you don't support the system. Which, for layman's terms, that's if you don't support everything that I'm trying to do or that the party's trying to do or that the system's trying to do, well, then you're a whiner. That's not fair. It's not a fair criticism. You should be. Listen, it's our job as American citizens to critique what is going on. That's our job. That's what we're supposed to do. And when we're not allowed to do that, that's when it falls apart. When we just follow blindly, that's when it falls apart. When we don't ask the right questions, it all goes down the drain. And it's not slowly. It happens very quickly. We have to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue to break this down. Talk about Yalcon. It is Open Lines Ohio. We'll talk whatever you want whenever you call. Call in. 216-901-0945. Feel free to text into the show. That number is 866-525-0955. We'll be back right after this.
pay taxes, raise families, and live here. This is the Jake Underwood Show on Cleveland's AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into hour number 2 of the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're also on X, Rumble, and YouTube. We're also on TikTok Live. If you search Jake Underwood, you'll see it pop up there. And I'm Jake Underwood, the man behind the glasses, one Mr. Seth Williams. Hello there, Seth.
Hello. My face hurts after listening to what goes on in between breaks.
Why does your face? Why?
The way you were screaming.
I was not screaming.
You were screaming.
I was not screaming. I was going.
Yeah, you're doing weird stuff. And
I was doing the la 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 to.
And I'm deaf, and so my headphones are like at 11 plus. And
well, I apologize.
so then you start screaming, and
I was not screaming.
Face
Seth.
melted off my.
I think your face melted off because of the hot action we're pumping through the radio waves. Let's see. We have a lot of texts and comments to catch up on. Let's see here. Yeah, so let's go with the Rumble chat first, which to everybody watching on Rumble, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and follow the channel there. A lot of people saying good morning to all of you. So someone said that one clap in the background, that was Vivek's mom. That was Vivek's mom
Might have
clapping.
been.
Yeah. Someone said maybe he should have had a red background as he talked about the threat of socialism.
Like when Joe Biden did
the
speech?
Joe Biden speech was, it was great. Oh my gosh! I mean,
he looks like the Emperor from Star Wars.
He looked like a lot of things. Yeah, the Emperor for Star Wars is a great way to say it. Yeah, and then somebody, let's see, that was KQ111 says socialism/communism is here in the form of property taxes. 69 cents of every property tax dollar goes to the education industrial complex. Ooh, I like that. Education industrial complex. Very interesting. We do have some text messages. Let's see here. This one says, when citizens feel like they're not getting what they need from politicians, they will seek out what they need. Unfortunately, the Republican Party appears to be resting on the achievements of President Trump and is not addressing what their constituents and independents need. That is a stable economy, jobs, and affordable housing. The Republican Party must wake up in a hurry. Your friend and brother in Christ, Liberty Valley Church, Dennis Polk. Dennis, well said. I agree with that. Let's see. Excuse me. Somebody texted in and said, in my opinion, socialism/communism is a worldwide movement. One world, no borders, free stuff. That is the way it seems to be going.
That's very accurate.
And no, I think that is very accurate. And I think we see it. We're seeing it more and more. Like, don't get me wrong. It's there. It's underlining. Like, it's definitely a threat. But this is the point that I'm making. If Republicans and Democrats do their job, that's not appealing. That's not appealing at all. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe to quote Taylor Swift, I'm the problem. It's me. Maybe it's us, Seth, because I know you kind of feel the same way that what I'm about to talk about. And if I'm misrepresenting you, please tell me. But I'm seeing the way the steps here where it's going. We're going to have technology replace jobs. We have AI already creating art. We have AI creating stories and videos and all this creativity. I'm just seeing all that initiative. That is the American way. Like, I know that people like to talk about there's no Italian dream, Mexican dream, French dream, Guatemalan dream, Canadian dream. It's the American dream, and they love saying that. But let me really ask this here. What brings on that dream? It's creativity. It's drive. It's initiative. What's replacing that right now? AI. Laziness. Somebody said, Jake, stop yelling. Bozo, I apologize.
Well, you're right. I mean, the American dream right now is dead. And it needs to be revived by somebody. And I think that's what we look to Donald Trump for. And for a lot of time, he did it.
Yes.
He was bringing it back.
Yep, I agree with that.
Now, I think that he has had some missteps here as of late, in my opinion.
I would agree with that.
And I think that the Democrats, they've opened the door wide open for this new group of people coming in trying to change things again.
Like the way that the talking point is, this is what scares me. I'm going to be completely honest. The same way that we're using the talking point of the democratic socialism, and we're hearing it and it's widespread. This is the same thing we held against the Democrats for saying about MAGA. It's the same thing. This is a threat to our country. Our country's going to go down the drain. Like that's what this is.
You're right, but at the same time, I think that socialism and communism really has been a threat to our country for decades, not just like right now.
Right. I mean, dude, it's been here all along. It's been under.
We've gone through this kind of stuff before.
Right. This is not the first time.
Now, do I think that this might be have a little bit more momentum? I think maybe.
I can agree with that because we're seeing it. But here's the thing. Well, then we need to remind people what it is that we are supposed to be doing in this country, and not only remind them, but actually do it. We're not doing it. What opportunities are there right now for people? And I'm not talking about the older people, guys. We gotta try to think, because all right, this is I want to point this out. This is why it's really important to realize that this happened. And somebody texted and said, "No, Jake, yell more. Thank you, John. But we have to point this out. We have to realize this here. I know that everybody likes to look at the young person and go, I got socks older than him. Triv used to say that stuff to me. He hated my shoes. He always hated my shoes because they came to the point, remember? Anyway.
Yeah, like he didn't like the clown shoe thing.
Well, they weren't clown shoes. I have to wear size 15. I don't know what to tell you. Any shoe I wear, it looks like clown shoes.
And the pointed stuff was kind of weird.
Right. Well, they were comfortable. Anyways, but those voters that are young, this is going to sound crazy. Stick with me here. They're going to be middle-aged sooner than you think. And if we don't convince them to give us a shot, I'm not saying like win them over and indoctrinate them. None of that. What I'm saying is win them over, show them that we know the right way to do it. If we don't do that while they're younger, we're not going to get them when they're middle-aged. I'm saying when they're coming right out of school into the workforce, if we're not appealing to them, if we're not listening to them, why are they going to stick around? When they have it the other side going, we're here to listen to you, what's going on? And even if it's not genuine, they still feel like they're being heard. So they're going to go with it. So, I mean, we could sit here and we can dismiss what young voters think and what young voters feel, but they're going to go somewhere else. That's my biggest fear here. Like, we could be mad about the democratic socialism and, well, this poll says this and this and that and that and this and this and that and that. We could say that all day. But have you been open to hearing the ideas of the younger Republicans, of the younger voters in general, or do you just dismiss them? Because when you do that, they're going to go elsewhere. That's what you're seeing. That's what's going on here. I would play the section. Vivek talks about, socialism on the left and the right, but that's when they really started to heckle. And look, the guy was getting heckled. So I understand there was frustration in it. But you can't look at a generation where, and Seth, you just said it, a lot of people feel like the American dream is gone. It's not there anymore because we have bigger government, and the bigger the government, the smaller you are. So when Vivek is on a stage in front of younger voters and he says this,
matter is, no matter what happens in whichever direction we go, people of my generation have already made it. We're going to be fine.
And then he follows it up with this. Now, see, here the problem is he says something along the lines of it's going to be your generation that has to pick it up and carry it. Well, of course it is, because you didn't want to do it. I'm telling you how that's coming off. I don't know that he meant it that way. I can't speak for him, and he won't come on to answer questions anyways. So I can't speak for him. But when you say this, I'll play it one more time so you could really understand. Now understand. The tension in the room is already high. People are pretty aggravated at what's being said already. And then you add this.
The truth of the matter is, no matter what happens in whichever direction we go, people of my generation have already made it. We're going to be fine.
That's not going to go over well. And then that's when this happens.
It's going to be your generation that pays the price. That choice belongs to you.
How did you think that was going to go? After you give a speech about, you're not where you want to be in life, be a winner, not a whiner. What did you think the reaction was going to be? We have some texts coming in. We're going to read those when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. If you want to call in, it's Open Lines Ohio. We'll talk whatever you want whenever you call. The number's 216-901-0945. Feel free to text in. The number's 866-525-0955. We'll be back right after this.
You know those places you... Your city, your country. Back to the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420. The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube. Search the Jake Underwood Show and search that on TikTok. You can see behind the scenes. We got some people in there. Hello, TikTok. There you go. You got a shout out on air. We have a text to get to. This is from the 216. It says, history isn't taught anymore. It is rewritten or erased and replaced by indoctrination. The education system has failed us.
Very accurate.
Yeah.
And I'd like to tell good old Mr. Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
Since he won't come on the show, I can't tell him personally.
Right.
But he talked about his generation being fine. He's 40.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a little bit older than that. Not a ton, but a little bit older than that.
Mm-hmm.
My generation certainly isn't fine in all ways. There are plenty of us who are in our 40s and early 50s, whatever you want to say, that are struggling and still work paycheck to paycheck and are trying for the American dream, but it ain't going to happen.
Seth, have you thought about maybe being a winner and not a whiner? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I try.
Have you thought about that?
Trying to not whine. And
But
I really get, we talked about it off the air.
Mm-hmm.
I am sick and tired of billionaires telling me that I'm going to be okay or I am okay.
Yeah.
Or I need to sacrifice more. They're not the ones sacrificing.
Well, and here's
I don't begrudge anybody for making a living.
No, never.
So God bless them.
No, listen, make as much money as you
Without
can.
a doubt.
Yeah, make as much money
Don't tell me
as you
how
can.
to feel.
Well, this is the weirdest thing about it, right? So let's look back at 2016 Donald Trump. Donald Trump was the billionaire who came in. Look, I know some people get mad when I say this, but I believe this wholeheartedly. He was the billionaire who came in and said, yeah, this hasn't been working for you. I'm the guy who has influence. I'm listening to you. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's see what we could do. Let's try to get this to work back for you. Where's that attitude? Like, where's that now?
I agree.
And I'm not talking about from the Trump administration. Right now.
I am to an extent.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. But where's
Don't
that
tell
attitude?
me that I needed to sacrifice my money for your gas when you're the one that caused the war. You decided to go in and do this, knowing the consequences.
Yeah.
And then you're going to tell me that, well, I have to sacrifice for a while.
Yeah.
No, you sacrifice.
Yeah, but World
War... don't take a salary. You're selling gold coins. Instead of selling gold coins with your face on it.
Yeah, he's made a lot of money.
Get my gas prices down.
Yeah. No, and that's a realistic frustration.
Don't tell me I have to sacrifice. I don't want to sacrifice.
No, I know.
I don't make enough money to sacrifice.
Well, and that's just it. Like that's where the frustration comes. That's why, it's so disconnected to tell people to stop. Well, did you try winning instead of whining? That's not it. For some people, that's absolutely it. Yeah, look, we all know those people that are sitting on the couch. They got when you think of them sitting at home, they got the Fritos stuck on their stomach because they haven't showered in a day. Like, yeah, you have the people like that. You're going to have lazy people all the time. But, if we want to talk about when because it was already kind of treading that way. When we look at when it really hit, it was COVID. You paid people to stay home. You paid people that were entering into the workforce for the first time to stay home. And now you're shocked that they want to stay home? You're shocked that they're looking at this and they're going, I actually made more money sitting at home than I do when I'm out and I'm working. That's an issue.
Yeah, I have no legs and I'm working 2 jobs.
Right.
And so I don't want to hear anymore that I have to sacrifice. I am sacrificing. And I'm trying to make ends meet. I'm trying to put food on the table for my family. And I don't want to hear from billionaires, well, hey, sorry, you got to suck it up a little bit. Quit whining. No, make things better for me.
Yeah, like
that's your job.
Yeah, start to represent. Like, and this goes back to, we could sit here, we could talk about how the real threat is socialism, whether it's socialism on the left or socialism on the right, which is what's being said. We can talk about all of that. But what it really comes down to is you're not doing your job correctly. That's why people are jumping towards things like socialism and these just whacked out ideas that we know are whacked out. We know they are. And look, I've said this numerous times. I'm going to say it again. When it comes to the socialism stuff going on in New York, that's going to be successful for a little bit because they got a lot of money. They got a lot of money that they're able to spend. So they're going to be able to do it, and it's going to be successful for a little bit. Now, it's the job of the Republicans and the Democrats, if the Democrats don't want to be taken over by what is being talked about as this giant threat, it's the job of the Democrats to do their job and bring it back to the middle a little bit. And I don't know, maybe talk to the people on the other side and come up with some compromises and some good deals. Some good deal where, yeah, maybe both sides have some wins and some losses. Like, nobody needs to win there. When a deal is made between the political parties, we win. When there's an agreement made on something, we're the ones who win because our government is able to function, and hopefully we are able to move forward with our lives. but mostly government needs to stay out of our way. Like really think about it. What if at work today somebody came up to you, they said, you got a new boss. You go, what? Our boss got fired? No, we're going to add another boss. Okay, so now I got 2 bosses. Yep. And then a year later, they go, hey, we're going to add 2 more bosses. You're like, what? What do you mean we're going to add 2 more bosses? Yeah, no. And then we're going to add another one and another one. And every year, they just add more and more and more and more and more. Pretty soon, there are so many bosses, you don't know what to do. You're being pulled in 16 different directions. And what happens? Nothing gets done. That's what we're looking at right now. That's where we're at right now. We got all these different things that people are trying to do. Nothing's getting done. Let's see. We have Jim on hold. This is Open Lines, Ohio. We'll talk whatever you want whenever you call. The number is 216-901-0945. Let's go to Jim in West Park. Jim, you're in the air.
Yeah. First time this year, the crickets started chirping. And I've been looking forward to them chirping. They rub their back legs together, and they make this loud chirping sound. And there's a song by Tony Trischka called "The Cross-Eyed Cricket." If Seth could find it, it would be a good bumper music for today's program.
Okay.
But the crickets finally came out and started making noise, so everybody can go out and listen to them. And okay, have a good day.
Yep, you as well. Thank you, Jim. The crickets are out.
Hear him?
I do. I hear him. Is there one in the studio? Get that cricket out of here.
That was one of the best bits ever.
Literally. Yeah. Yeah. But if they do their job, they do what they're supposed to do, then we don't have this problem. They can disagree all day. They've done it for 250 years. Literally, they can disagree. And, I know that we like to think that we're living in the most important, most divided moment, and we like to sit here and go, ooh, look how important we are. It's not necessarily the case. It's been divided before. It's been hard to deal with before. We've had presidents assassinated. We've had presidents shot at. So we've had all that kind of division before. In fact, we had a civil war. So the divide's been there. It's just both political parties did their job. So you didn't have this terrible threat. In fact, I don't know why. You would think that if that's the real threat to everything, I want to know why he's speaking at this convention that's in Ohio where he's running for governor. Like he's still speaking to a national audience. Talk about things here at home. Talk about that. And then the craziest part, like I said, I wish I could play this whole thing, but there's just the hecklers, there's a lot of cussing in it, and it's just a constant thing. But he starts talking about the real threat here, real threat there. It's crazy. This is the Jake Underwood Show. When we come back, we're going to break down what Amy Acton said. It's an old clip, but it's resurfacing, and I'll break down the facts on that, and we'll continue to talk about this as well. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
voice is part of this show. Call in and join us. The Jake Underwood Show, live and local on AM 1420. The Answer.
You gotta take a stand, it don't have to hide.
I gotta let the chorus play.
One of the best songs of all time.
We gotta let it play. Well, let me tell you something, brother. We're gonna go. No, welcome back to the
This
Jake
should be
Underwood
the
Show.
opening to the show.
Well, you know, and I know I say this every time it's played, but I'll remind everyone this was the song for one Mr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. When I was on the campaign on the advance team, this is the song he walked out to.
That's awesome.
We took the first verse out, and we had it go straight and then it went straight to the chorus. And man, I used to full on UFC style, ladies and gentlemen, as he was walking up to the stage. I found videos of that the other day. I'll post one on social media so people can see it. But somebody texted in and said, "Big Voice Lively is back." That's right. Yes, he's doing traffic. Let's see here. We were talking about the multiple managers. I'm saying that's government. Well, you got a new job. New boss. Somebody texted in and said, nothing gets done. It's your fault, not the 37 managers. You don't get a raise, then it's your fault, and then you get fired. There you go. Somebody texted in and said, did you send your COVID checks back to the government, or did you run out and spend it and increase the rate of inflation?
I spent the hell out of mine. I'll tell you.
Did you?
That.
Yeah. Well.
And I was working. I really enjoyed my extra money.
Oh, that's right. You were working.
Yeah.
You were. Yeah, that's right.
My wife was an essential employee, and then so was I, and so we both had to go to work every day.
Yeah.
And then we got big fat checks, and I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah, no, I paid off debt.
Government owes me money as it is.
You know what? That's true. Yeah, hold on. How does that increase inflation? Why? Because they were printing money at the time? That's not on us.
Oh.
They owe us money anyways. No, I paid off debt. That's what I did. I know, like, people went out and they bought TVs, and that's what they wanted people to do. And I remember that was the big debate. People are like, well, you have to put it back into the economy. And it's like, yeah, but I have debts to pay, and then I'll spend money on the economy. What are we doing here?
I bought a turtle.
Is that when you bought the turtle?
Yeah. That had a nice big tank and everything?
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at you. You've had a turtle. You got cats.
Dog.
You got a dog. Look at you.
It's like a farm.
It's a funny farm over there. So, welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show. So yeah, like I said, we're still going to talk about Vivek and everything going on there, but I want to be fair, and I also want to talk about Amy Acton, because there are clips and everything coming out of Amy Acton and the different things that she's talking about. She's making claims about her time in charge of COVID and all the different things like that. And it was actually 12 hours ago, the Vivek campaign, they put out this clip of Amy Acton, and I'll play this one too, because this is the big one that the Ohio GOP is putting out, and that is of when Amy Acton was talking about hugging Ohio, if you're Mike DeWine, Ohio. So this is the clip, and she's getting some flack over it. Seth and I, we're like, okay, when it comes to the clip, but this is what she said.
Just to be a human being here, I've had this feeling in my gut of like I'm holding Ohio in my arms, and I'm like single-handedly like, be gone, virus, stay out.
So
she's goofy.
No, that's just. I think we all know that she's goofy. Like that's. I don't think that's new to anybody. Yeah, no, she's a goofy individual. Now I will say this. Have you worked with like? Okay, how do I want to phrase this? Have you worked with like liberals? I'm not talking about like the left leaning. I'm talking about like the deep entrenched like lib.
Yes.
That's just how they are.
Yes.
Like, I'll give an example. I won't say names. When I was on the campaign, we had one. She was great at her job. But oh my goodness, everything was just, oh, this is incredible. Oh, I'm so glad everybody could be here. And she meant it. That was the thing. Like, she like genuinely was just excited to see people, and like she was happy, and like it was to the point that we're going, there's no way you're this happy. Why are
very over
like,
the top?
What's wrong with you? Yeah. Like, oh, this energy, if I could just put it in my pocket and on a rainy day, pull it out of my pocket and expose it, there would be... And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you sound nuts. That's just how they are. They're goofy like that. Well, it's weird when the men do it.
We worked with a deep lib.
Well...
like, very deep. Right? Like, it doesn't get more liberal than that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was calling himself a socialist back in 2018. So to be fair, yeah, I guess we did. I'm going to be honest. I forgot about him.
He wasn't very loving though. He was
kind
of hateful.
Well, there's two that are coming to mind. There's the old one and then the younger one. Are you talking about the older one or the younger one?
Well, both.
Oh.
The younger one is the one I was thinking.
Oh, well, the younger one, yeah, he used to go at it with you, but I mean, we could have conversations. He and I.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I don't know. If people are going to figure out who we're talking about. I already know. Bozo knows. It's already clicked to Bozo. He knows exactly what we're talking about. So as I said, there was a clip put out of Amy Acton on a podcast, and she claims that the COVID death was over 50% at the beginning of everything. And then she also said some other things about Ohio reopening and some different things like that. So I want to take about 30-second clip. This is from a podcast. I'm not sure the podcast, but I'm going to credit Vivek's Twitter or X. I apologize, because that's where the clip was posted. This is what the clip says.
Not only did we lose more people than all wars combined, it's actually a grave security risk. As you know, the economy completely crashed before single order was written. But in those early days, the mortality rate was 50%. I started with that in March. We were actually working on things in January, the second we knew about it. By June, when we reopened, because we actually reopened earlier than everyone else, it's because we took swift, decisive action. The mortality had gone down to 5%. We learned how to treat it. We learned how to save lives.
50%.
50%.
Okay, you do realize that the number of deaths in Ohio from COVID is 44,000.
Yeah.
The number recovered is 3.8 million.
So see, that's where I was curious. I'm like, is she talking about 50% for the country?
She said Ohio. There's 12 million people in Ohio.
Oh, let's play it one more time so we can get a full understanding of what she's saying here.
Not only did we lose more people than all wars combined, it's actually a grave security risk. As you know, the economy completely crashed before single order was written. But in those early days, the mortality rate was 50%. I started with that in March. We were actually working on things in January, the second we knew about it. By June, when we reopened, because we actually reopened earlier than everyone else, it's because we took swift, decisive action. The mortality had gone down to 5%. We learned how to treat it. We learned how to save lives.
So, I mean, at the beginning, is she talking about Ohio there?
Yeah, she was.
Real quick, Bozo, spot on. To the texter Bozo. Bozo, you're spot on. Well said. Yeah, because that part I don't believe is true.
No.
Her
numbers were way off.
Yes. But I mean, if they actually thought it was 50%, then I guess that kind of explains the reaction to everything. But
I mean, I guess. I mean, she kept going up and up and up with these numbers. I mean, I remember those stupid press conferences every day.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, somebody, here we go. Let me get caught up on these real quick. Someone said, Seth, you're spot on. You nailed it. Rich kid buying what he wants, when we were talking about the stuff in the previous segment. Just talking about how it's rubbing people the wrong way with the messaging and everything. And someone said, Jake, your DeWine impersonation is spot on. Thank you. That's from Granny of 3. Thank you, Granny. Then we have some text that says, what do we have here? Oh, some stuff about AI data centers. We're going to talk about the stuff that happened in Amherst shortly, but I wanted to make sure, because look, we're talking about Vivek and things that were said there, so I want to do the same with Acton. We did kind of a week in review. I'm going to try to do this every Friday. If there's big news, we'll cover it. And I'm just going to kind of do hey, this is what came out during the week, and this is the day that we're going to go over the stuff with the governors. And then we're also going to do the same with the Senate. Governor's the big one, is because we're getting closer, and I know things get lost during the week, so we're going to do like a week in review.
Have you heard anything about Houston? I haven't seen any commercials. I see Sherrod Brown commercials.
So, wait, yeah.
I haven't seen much on Houston.
Yeah, I have with Houston. So, I mean, AFP's doing a great job knocking doors and everything. I know that there's been some fundraisers locally for John Husted. He met with some young Republicans, different things like that. So yeah, I mean, I hear some stuff about Husted. It's different with Husted because he is working too. So yeah, he's running for re-election, but he holds the office currently. So that is different. But that's another one. The same way that the clips that are being put out that are pro Vivek are anti-Amy. So I would rather be pro Vivek than just, well, he's not her. Because that we criticize Democrats for how long with the, well, you guys are just voting because you just don't want Donald Trump. The only reason you like your candidate is because they're not Donald Trump. And we criticize them for that, but that's what we're doing now. Like that's the way that they're running it. So it doesn't make any sense. Like, we understand that Vivek is not Amy Acton. We get that. We understand that part of it. But can you tell us, like, I'm going to say it again. I said it the Monday when we really broke all of this down, just this campaign and everything. And I said on Wednesday, help me defend you, because people are asking me questions. I don't know what to say. They're going, why are we just going anti-Amy? I want to be pro the candidate, not just anti the opponent. But we're going to break down
That's where it's tough right now. I'm just being honest.
No, listen, I agree with you. I completely agree with you. But we're going to look into not only the numbers of the 50% and everything that was said by Amy Acton there, but I'm also going to go through the timeline again of the COVID, because she made the claim that we were one of the first states to open up. We'll break that down when we come back. We'll be back right after this. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
Show continues on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search the Jake Underwood Show. We have context. We have context of the 50%. I wanted to double check everything, but let's get caught up here. Let's see. We have some, yeah, somebody texted in and said COVID didn't kill lots of people. Hospital protocols did. Ooh, it's a little louder for the people in the back. Well said there. Somebody texted in and said, this is from, this is from Dennis Polk. He said, maybe Vivek is not meeting expectations, but compare him with all his shortcomings with a gigantic goofball that is Amy Acton. Enough said. You know what? I'm not knocking the strategy of the campaign in the sense of, hey, she's kind of goofy. She is, but we all know that. But like I said, I don't want it to be a campaign that's just, well, he's not her. That's why he won. And if you're going, no, that's crazy. Let me remind you, Rush Limbaugh was a Ted Cruz guy. He wanted Ted Cruz. What happened? There was one interview. He was on with Donald Trump. Donald Trump won him over. And then what did you have every day from noon to 3?
Rush.
You had Rush Limbaugh going after the drive-by media with his formerly nicotine-stained fingers, right? But what did he do? He gave you the arguments to defend your position as a Trump supporter. Hey, Vivek, help me defend you. Help me defend you when it comes to the tough talking points. Because there's a lot of people that are looking at things, and as time goes on, they're worried. They're seeing you get booed by younger, I know they're not young Republicans. I made that mistake. By young Americans for liberty. By younger Americans. They're look, the clip might not be fair and it might be out of context. I'll give you that. But that's the world we live in. You know, when clips get taken out of context and they get sent to people and they go, this your guy?
Yeah.
The same way that Seth needed help defending me to your campaign, I need help defending you.
Any help I can.
Well, and I appreciate it. But the point is still there.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm going to play the Amy Acton clip one more time so people can understand. As I said, I got the context of the 50% because I'm going to be honest. When I heard this, the 50% thing, it didn't even click for me. Immediately I went, were we reopened in June? What was that timeline? Because that's a little far-fetched, to be fair. But I'm going to play one more time and we'll explain the context of what she's saying here.
Not only did we lose more people than all wars combined, it's actually a grave security risk. As you know, the economy completely crashed before single order was written. But in those early days, the mortality rate was 50%. I started with that in March. We were actually working on things in January, the second we knew about it. By June, when we reopened, because we actually reopened earlier than everyone else, it's because we took swift, decisive action. The mortality had gone down to 5%. We learned how to treat it. We learned how to save lives.
So let's break this down a little bit. And real quick, somebody texted and said, good morning from Los Angeles.
Hey,
good morning, California.
Good morning.
Welcome to Common Sense. No.
I will say, though, she's wrong about the opened earlier than everybody else.
Correct. So that's what I looked at with the timeline. But I want to address because the the timeline is what jumped out of, and I go, June? I was still furloughed in June. That was that weird in between.
Yeah.
Where that's when I went across country, honestly. The only reason I got brought back and majority of the people got brought back was because the Guardians were going to play baseball again. They needed people to run the board. A little behind the scenes there. But that's why a lot of people were able to come back because sports were starting to play again. And then they brought people back so they could run board, do post game, whatever needed to be done. But the 50%, because Seth, you went, hold on. And I went, wait a second, that doesn't sound right. So I looked into it a little bit more during the break, and I wanted to make sure I found it. So this is from a 2024 talk at Ohio University, and they're talking about the pandemic. They said that initially the mortality rate for early hospitalized COVID patients was 50%. And then by June of 2020, that figure had fallen to about 5% as doctors learned more about treating the disease. So early on. Now this is from I'm seeing that she said this. This was in April of 24. She said this. So she said what the context of that clip is that initially the mortality rate for early hospitalized COVID patients was over 50%. So the people that got it early on when they went to the hospital, they were passing away, which goes back to the comment of the COVID didn't kill a lot of people. The protocols may have, or the protocols did from hospital protocols.
You mean the ventilators?
The ventilators. Let's see. Somebody texted and said the only reason I will vote in November is to vote against Sherrod Brown. Now I'm curious, and
that's it. I can't think of another reason.
And let me ask you, to the person that texts that in, and by all means let me know. And I won't say the names. I'll just say them as they come in. Are you voting for Vivek? I'm curious. I got somebody in the studio right now with Seth shaking his head no. I won't say who, but he went, So, I mean, are you voting for Vivek? Because if the only reason you're going is to vote against Sherrod Brown, I understand it, but are you voting for Vivek?
Yeah, that was not me shaking my head.
No, Seth was not the one shaking his head. We have proof of that. That's on the stream. So what she's talking about is the early on mortality rate of the people that were put in the hospital. She said that was 50% by June of 2020. Once the treatments were better, it went down to 5%.
Oh, she was wrong when she said that we opened up earlier than everybody else.
Yeah, see, there's
a lot of other states that opened up before us.
Yeah, that's the part that threw me off. And so I started to go through it here because, I mean, I have the actual timeline for COVID. March 3rd, March 9th, March 12th. This is when the restrictions and Ohio's first confirmed case was March 9th. And then that's when we had, if you remember, the Arnold Sports Festival. It was the first thing shut down. So that was the first thing that they shut down. And that's when people were like, oh, this might be getting kind of serious. Then by mid-March, mass gatherings were restricted to 100 people. Then schools were ordered to be shut down. Restaurants and bars were shut down. More businesses closed. Then the presidential primary was postponed. And then the statewide stay-at-home order. That all happened within March. So that all hit around the same time. Now, I will say this. By April 27th, that's when Mike DeWine, he was out there and he announced his Responsible Restart Ohio. Remember that, Seth? Responsible Restart Ohio. How many weeks was it?
4 to 6.
4 to 6 weeks. Okay. All right.
We'll wear the masks.
Yeah, you had to do your part. You had to do that. By May 12th, DeWine said that basically 90% of Ohio's economy would be open. Mid-May is when we saw restaurants, salons, different things open up, and that by June, Ohio was largely reopened. So technically what she's saying is correct, but the problem is there were still the restrictions. We're going to get to that when we come back. This is The Jake Underwood Show.
across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the final hour. Hour number 3 of the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube. We're live on TikTok right now during the break. If you search the Jake Underwood Show, you'll see it pop up right there. I am Jake Underwood, the man.
Fun.
What's that?
The TikTok thing.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, like you get instant feedback as soon as it's happening. So, yeah, no, I do enjoy the TikTok. So if you want to see there, yeah. No, it's good stuff. I am Jake Underwood, the man behind the glass. Is one Mr. Seth Williams. Hello there, Seth.
Hello.
How are you, Seth?
Fantastic.
There, you know what? I'm glad to hear that.
It's almost the weekend.
It is almost the weekend. And it's Friday. That means it's Open Lines Ohio. We talk whatever you want, whenever you call.
A fine man once said, why do they call Wednesday hump day? Friday's hump day. Today we're officially over the hump.
Then wouldn't that be over the hump day?
No. Friday is the hump day to the weekend. What's a hump day in the middle of the week for?
Well, because you're
going to go to work the next day.
Well, no, because after Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's all downhill.
No, it's not downhill. You got to
it's downhill.
Nah.
We have some people calling in now. If you want to join the queue, the number is 216-901-0945. Do that. It is Open Lines Ohio. So, yeah, we will talk whatever you want, whenever you call. Right now, what we're doing is we're kind of breaking down. This past week, we heard a lot of different things from the two people running for governor. And I know there's a libertarian. I'm going to be honest. I don't know too much about that candidate. I do apologize. And I'll have more, just as time goes on, quite frankly, to be honest with you. That's just how that's going to go. But there were some clips put out, and one was from 2024, but it's gaining a lot of attention. So I wanted to make sure we had all the context of it and whether or not what was being said is true or false. And the same way we did with Vivek, we're going to do the same thing with Amy Acton, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're holding them accountable. So when it came to Ohio reopening, so Seth, here's the thing with the timeline when I'm looking at this, because we were talking about how, is it true? Did Ohio reopen in June? Technically, it did. This is the problem, because this is where we have to be completely honest with it and do technically, and I'm putting the finger quotes up here, because it didn't reopen completely. There were still the restrictions. You had to walk around with the masks. What they're meaning when they say that is businesses were allowed to reopen as long as they followed the restrictions that went along with COVID protocol.
She said before everybody else, which is just not true.
That
Georgia, Alaska,
correct.
Oklahoma, Texas, South Carolina, all opened up in like April.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's I'll be honest. When we had the Secretary of Interior, Doug Burgum, on, when he was governor, I was in North Dakota. And, I was used to having masks on. And I go to walk into Walmart, and I had my mask on. And I look around, I notice nobody else had a mask on. This is like mid-June. Took that mask off. I never felt more free. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I went to Vegas, and it was like late summer, and they finally opened up and let you not have to wear a mask. And literally the night that we landed, they reinstated the mask thing.
Yeah.
I was like, get out of here.
Somebody on the TikTok chat said, you look a lot different than you sound. I don't know how to take that. Thank you.
You look exactly like you sound.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, well. I'm going to take it as a compliment, Seth. Thank you. Let's go to Tony in Avon Lake. Tony, you're in the air.
I got a lot of, first of all, about COVID and stuff and Anthony Fauci.
Mm-hmm.
I have the book, The Real Anthony Fauci.
Yep.
By RFK Jr. And Bill Gates collaborated with Anthony Fauci about the push of the COVID vaccines,
mm-hmm.
and actually and the shutdown, of course.
Yep.
And a Chinese scientist, probably from Wuhan University, said the gain-of-function scientists, 11, well, actually 3 of the 11 scientists admitted that they manipulated the virus
mm-hmm.
using the spike protein,
right?
That would bind with the ACQ receptors in humans.
Yep. Yeah, we had Thomas Havlin on, and he spoke about that. He actually has the blood clots. He carries them with him. And yeah, and Tony, thank you for the call. We got a bunch of calls coming in. The real Anthony Fauci, I mean, if you really want to dive into it and you can process a lot of information, that's a great book to read. There's a lot of info in that.
I'm going to be a little bit disrespectful now, so I apologize.
Okay.
Because I know how much you love RFK.
Okay.
But the problem that I have with reading one of his books is that I know that when I'm reading it, I'm going to hear his voice the entire time.
What's wrong with hearing Bobby's voice?
It's not a bad voice, but I know that when I read the words, the entire time I'm reading a book.
There's if you hear that, that's okay. It's okay. Thank you, Seth. Let's see. Let's go to Scott in Cleveland. Scott, you're in the air.
I want to know what kind of turtle Seth got.
What kind of turtle did you get, Seth?
It was a Russian tortoise.
Oh, nice. Nice. They're pretty much herbivores, right?
Yeah.
All right, just don't give them any iceberg lettuce, though.
Not now, no.
It'll give them the run.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
You want to give them like strawberries and melons and bananas and that kind of stuff. Romaine, like green leafy stuff, he'll do just fine for you.
She loves romaine lettuce, I'll tell you that.
Just don't give them any crickets.
No. No crickets.
Thank you, Scott. No crickets allowed. Although they were chirping. Crickets were chirping. Let's see here. We have a text that says Medina and Cuyahoga counties in Ohio were not open in June. Yeah. I think and this is where they're going to do the political spin. That's what they're going to do. They're going to do the political spin there. So they're going to say that they were open to make it sound like everything was good to go. But they're not going to mention that there were restrictions, and you had to have the arrows on the ground, and you had to look this way, and then you had to look you had to look both ways, like you're going to cross the street to walk down an aisle. If you weren't wearing the mask, do you remember? Anthony Fauci was mentioned, and this popped in my head. Do you remember when he was at the game and he threw the terrible pitch? Was never an athlete, honestly, a terrible guy. But do you remember when they showed him sitting in the stands and everybody else had the mask on? Anthony Fauci had it around his chin.
Yeah.
And if there is just, I mean, if you just want an example of just how crazy that time was, yeah, that's the perfect example. Let's see here. Somebody in the TikTok, they said, can we just move on from COVID? What the F is RFK doing right now? Well, he's the Secretary of Health and Human Services, so that's what he's doing right now. He's actually doing a lot. I suggest you look at the news. We have some text here. Somebody texted in about, would you vote, if you're voting, if you're going, who you voting for? Are you voting for Vivek? It says, if I vote, I will vote for Vivek. If I vote. And I think there's a lot of people that are there with that. I think there are a lot of people they're doing the if I vote. If I show up. That's why I keep saying we gotta make sure, especially for Vivek, if he wants to win, he has to start appealing to independents and going to a convention with younger voters there, younger Americans, because they're not young Republicans. I was told not to say young Republicans, so they're not young Republicans. They're young Americans for liberty. Don't start off by calling them by telling them it's winners versus whiners. Let's see here. Somebody texted in and said those arrows were a boom for the big chain grocery stores. They love those arrows. It's so funny to see, that you could still see the outlines of it. On the Rumble chat, somebody says here, let's see, just 2 weeks, and we'll drive it into the ground. Next slide. That's right. See, that's the thing. Voters are going to remember all of that because our lives were shut down for a little bit. So yeah, and you know what? It'd be a lot easier to move on from COVID if we found out the truth. I know people want to move on from it, but don't you think we deserve to know what happened, what exactly it was that everything was shut down for? If it was a 50% mortality rate, okay, but we need to start seeing this stuff. All this needs to come forward. And I'm not saying that they were right or wrong because you know what? Here's the thing. We don't know all the facts. We don't know all of them yet. They haven't completely been, we haven't been given everything, so we don't know for sure. We don't know. Yeah, this person in the TikTok, they're saying now the year is 2038 and Republicans are still mad about COVID. Yeah, and then, they're laughing. I don't know why that's funny. You're not mad that people lost years of their lives, career advancement? I mean, how insensitive are you?
Children?
I'm assuming that this person claims to be, a defender of all. These are one of these people that are going to stand on the street corner and talk about how they defend everyone. Well, defend the people whose lives were impacted by COVID. Try that.
And kids who were locked down.
Kids that were locked down, family members that never got a hug from their family again as they were dying because they had to be wrapped in plastic to hold a child or hug someone. Get some context to your life. Best of luck to you. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we have some people calling in. The number's 216-901-0945. Feel free to text in. That number's 866-525-0955. We have some people texting in. Also, we'll be back right after this. Hey, this is Jake Underwood.
your faith meets the front page. The Jake Underwood Show continues on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube. We're also on TikTok. Just search the Jake Underwood Show and you'll see a pop up there. We have some text to get to. Let's see here. Somebody said, the if I vote, in quotations, is a useless stance. But it's almost as if they text in unison. It came in at the same time. The next text, this from the 330, it says, I want to remind people that if you're not happy with the top of the ticket, still look down the ballot. A partial ballot is better than no ballot at all. And I agree with that. Make sure you're voting on, local issues, whether it's taxes, whatever it might be, because that's one of those where it's going to hit you. You're going to be like, well, hold on. How did this get approved? Let's see here. Somebody said, I always complain about not having good choices when it comes to elections. Then I remember that in 92, because of Ross Perot taking votes from Bush, we ended up with Clinton for the next 25 years. Well, look, here's the thing. And I was lucky enough. I'll have to find the clip because it was on the Kennedy campaign. Jesse Ventura, he did a full breakdown on the way that they changed elections after Ross Perot. Because that's when he endorsed the independent candidate for president, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And then once Bobby went over to endorse Trump, then he became a Kamala Harris supporter. But I'll have to find that because he explains, he gives a timeline and everything of the way that all that went down. Let's see. It is Open Lines Ohio. We talk whatever you want, whenever you call. So let's go to Lori in Cleveland. Lori, you're in the air.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, Jake. The clip on Amy Acton saying everything she mentions is, well, everything she says is a lie. But when she says 50% of the people were dying, that of course we know is not true.
Right.
Then this is what gets me. Then she claims the economy had already tanked before the first order was made, I guess in Ohio, and that's a lie. The economy was in great shape until they started shutting down the country.
Right.
Finally, when she claims Ohio opened up in early June, claiming because deaths or sicknesses, not clear what she meant, was down to 5%, and we, quote, and we knew how to treat this COVID, another lie. If they knew how to treat COVID by then why were they still telling people to go home and wait 14 days to see how they would feel instead of healing them immediately? And thus, demand to push for an emergency use authorization vaccine, which soon became mandated by Biden in 2021. Wouldn't have been legal because I believe by law the government can't have authorized EUA for a vaccine if they knew how to treat the illness that they want for a vaccine. And of course, that part of her saying the economy had tanked before their first order and that Ohio opened up early, then most states is not true. The reason she and DeWine were forced to reopen was because citizens were rallying at the State House to demand reopening the state and their businesses they wanted open.
Lori, do you want to, real quick, you want to know the scary part as you're talking about all this in my head? This is the what if they thought the waiting 14 days was treating it?
It wasn't, though.
No, listen, I agree with you, but because, they have to justify it somehow. You know what I mean?
Right.
So is that what they're using? Is that the treatment they're talking about? That's the scariest part.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, well, that was what was going on, was they were just 14 days, and, and then they want you to come back. And not to mention, let's be real, I remember my husband saying when they started doing the testing with those wands, well, it was so obvious. You're going to create more cases. And they did. They were manufacturing cases. She was part of that. And by the way, she didn't stay longer than sometime in June of that year because people had enough of her.
Yeah.
And she quit. So them saying all this stuff, it really makes me mad. And the other thing was, then in July 8th, I'll never forget it, the forced masking by DeWine. And he blamed it on young people going to bars and they're not social distancing. And that is was such BS. And I called our Health and Human Service thing when I heard that, because they were going to start masking kids. that was child abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, it was enough they took him out of school. That was child abuse, and nothing was done about it. I will never let go of COVID. I will never let go of it because they did it to us once. They can do it to us again.
Yep.
And it was the biggest scam this place has ever seen. So Amy Acton is bad news because maybe she won't put data centers in, but that's already a done deal. They're all coming in everywhere. But she'll lock us up the first time there's a virus. And
yeah. No, Lori, well said, and thank you for the call. Well said. And that's the part that scares me too. That's the part, and especially because, man, if they did it once, they'll be more than happy to do it again. And they'll move quicker this time. You know, I forgot about the bars. I forgot about it was the young kids. I forgot about that. It was the young ones. It was the people out at the bars. They were spreading the germs.
I remember I went to a bar, and there was a concert going on, right? This place was packed wall to wall. You could not move.
Yeah.
And some crazy guy that I happened to be at a table next to goes, "You got to watch out. We're sitting underneath a vent. That's how it travels is through the vent."
Yeah. And that's just, I mean, the scare tactics that took place were, it was absolutely insane. The scare tactics.
If you're walking through the grocery store, you don't stand under the vent in the produce
Well, yeah,
section.
that's why I said it's crazy to me that, you know, with the restrictions and everything that were put in place with COVID, once you sat down at a restaurant, you were fine. You could then take your mask off and do whatever you need to do. Yeah. And somehow plexiglass, that it evaporated it. But if you're tall, you were going to get it. Because it travels, it seems it's like 4.5 feet to 5 feet. That's where it sits.
Right.
Past that, you were fine. Like the whole thing was handled insane. And yeah, I mean, it's just, oh man. Just the whole time. And both of them, both of these candidates, they're just saying off the wall stuff. Like they're just saying off the wall stuff. And I don't know anymore. I really don't. I mean, there are more people texting in now. There's a lot of we had that text from James that said, "If I vote is a useless stance." But James, and to the people listening, I'm going to be honest with you. Majority of the ones that are responding saying that if they vote, yeah, they might vote for Vivek. And let's see, we got, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 right now that I could see, and I'm not. There's more to scroll through.
And I hate to be that guy, but I am going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the guy that sits here and I'm going to complain the fact that this guy has not come on the show. But I take that personally. And I'm also going to say that he's not answering the questions that I want answered, which irritates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
It does. But I'm also going to be the guy that says it's my civic duty to vote. And when I go to vote, I'm probably going to vote for him because.
Well, then he doesn't need to come on the show.
I know.
So you could be mad.
That's what I get mad at myself for. But I'm trying to figure out a better option. I don't think not voting is a better option.
And that's completely fair.
And then I don't think that voting for Amy Acton is a better option.
Right.
But I don't want to I don't know what to do.
Yeah. No, that's
it's very confusing.
That's the spot that we're put in. Yeah, look,
give me a better candidate for God's sakes.
No. They have to double down on it. Listen, he's so good they endorsed him. Well, when did they endorse? What, a year and a half before the election?
They endorsed him while he's still doing Doge.
Yeah. No, they were ready. They were ready to go. We're going to take a break. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Yeah, we have some more comments and things to get to. They're coming in now. As well as also, yeah. If you want to call in, it is Open Lines Ohio. We have somebody on hold. AC, we're going to get to you as soon as we come back. That number is 216-901-0945. If you want to text in, that number is 866-525-0955. This is Open Lines Ohio. We talk whatever you want, whenever you call. We'll be back right after this.
Friday seems to nag me. Coming Tuesday, I feel better. Even my old man looks good. Wednesday just don't go. Thursday goes too slow. I've got Friday on my mind.
Some politicians listen to talk radio. Some pretend not to. Either way, we're still asking the questions. Back to the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the final half an hour of the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420. The Answer. It is Friday. It is July 31st. Real quick, dude, it's August. It's going to be August tomorrow. We're already in August.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Although I've been pretty much sick since January.
Well, yeah.
God willing.
Yeah. Well, you're good to go now.
Yeah.
And you got your magic legs.
I do.
Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Seth got his magic legs. Yeah, it's July 31st in the beautiful year that is 2026 in the greatest Cleveland area. This is the Jake Underwood Show. It's Open Lines Ohio. We got about, final half an hour. Open Lines Ohio. It's been Open Lines Ohio all day, but if you want to call in, 216-901-0945. Feel free to text in 866-525-0955. Let's go to AC. AC, you're in the air.
Hello, Jake.
Hello.
Earlier in the week, Seth had a concern about dying and being trapped in the coffin, that his soul would not be separated from his body.
Yes.
And you'd have to. Okay, now I'm going to give you the answer. This is from Jesus about what happens when people die. Okay. And this is in the Word of God, Luke chapter 16, beginning in verse 19. He gave an actual account of two Jews who died, a Jewish rich man and a Jewish beggar. This is not a parable.
Mm-hmm.
No parable uses proper names, such as Lazarus or Abraham. The rich man, after he died, immediately lifted up his eyes in hell, and Lazarus immediately was carried by angels into Abraham's presence. Now, Christians should never desire to be cremated. Jesus is to be our example. Okay?
Okay.
And when the rapture takes place, I'm sure you believe in a rapture.
Yes.
Heard about it.
Yes.
Okay. When the rapture takes place, coming soon to a lost and dying planet near you, okay?
Okay.
The graves of the saved shall be opened, and the graves of the damned shall be left untouched. And Old Testament saints such as Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and others will also have open graves when the rapture takes place. But they won't be walking around on planet Earth.
Right.
They'll get glorified bodies.
So wait a second. So you see, what you're saying is I am stuck in the ground until Jesus comes and reopens me.
No. Upon death, your soul will immediately be somewhere. I mean, I'm
just hanging out somewhere.
Even the Lord. Yeah. Well, it's like the story that Jesus gave. Okay. The Jewish beggar wound up basically in heaven, and the Jewish rich man did not. Okay. He immediately ended up in hell. There was no waiting period. Okay?
Does that clear it up for you, Seth?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. AC, thank you. Go on.
Yeah, when death happens, it's immediate.
Right. AC, thank you. Thank you for clearing that up and for the context.
A little bit of news.
Yes.
If you care. Tony Romo has been suspended indefinitely on leave. J.J. Watt will be replacing him.
Interesting. I'm shocked they did that.
His duties. So, Tony Romo, DUI.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. The video was rough. It was rough. When he's standing there when he goes, so because he refused to do a breathalyzer, they tried to get him to walk. He's sitting there, he's stretching, and he's doing all that. And then he goes to he asked the person, he goes, did I pass the test? And they go, why don't you turn around, put your hands behind your back? And he goes, I did not.
So J.J. Watt will be replacing Tony Romo until further notice.
Let's see. Somebody texted in to what AC said. They said the rapture isn't biblical, and the rich man didn't have a proper name. So,
well, then I prefer to be in a tomb like Jesus was.
Okay, all right, well, go.
So it's not like completely confined underground.
Go get a tomb, buddy. Yeah.
Are those expensive? I don't know.
Probably. I would assume it's pretty.
Can you build a tomb, stones?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. You were the host of Wheelin' and Dealin'. Did they ever? Was there ever a tomb up for sale?
No, there was never a tomb up for sale.
Just grave plots, right?
But I mean, you could build me a tomb. You know that.
What? I don't know how to build a tomb. I'm not.
Some stones up and stick my body in.
Well, there you go. You got to figure it out.
I don't know.
Let's see here. So yeah, I do. So Tony Romo expended. You said indefinitely.
Yes.
Interesting.
Until further notice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked by it, but I'm a little surprised just because he was like very big for that was what CBS, right?
Yes.
Yeah, CBS. He was up there with Jim Nantz. So I do want to cover something real quick because it is news. We talk about the AI data centers a lot. Amherst, they have rejected data center. So basically what happened was the Amherst Board of Zoning Appeals rejected a use variance that would have allowed the AI data center to be built. They would have converted a building that was used for a long time into an AI data center. They said, nah.
I don't understand that because, one, if you're going to use an existing building, then it's already there.
Mm-hmm.
And two, the city gets a ton of money. Property taxes, utility stuff. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that the city actually gets a lot of money from.
Yeah. Well,
including jobs.
What? I mean, AI data centers aren't creating that many jobs.
Construction jobs to build those centers and everything else.
The center's already built.
Rewire everything. Yeah, it doesn't just walk on in there.
The zoning board said the reason why is because Amherst Industrial Zoning Code does not explicitly prohibit data centers, but it also doesn't list them as a permitted use. So that's why. It's something to do with their zoning code. So maybe, I don't know, maybe eventually that'll be updated and then they will allow them. We'll see. But as of right now, Amherst said, nah, no thank you to the AI data center. A lot of the residents opposed it. So I would assume that's another reason why residents, they were there and they made it very clear that they did not want an AI data center near a residential neighborhood. They were worried about, the noise and it affecting just everyday life in the community. One was quoted as saying, it's a small community and we love how it is. So someone else said that they don't want to live anywhere within several miles of one of these things. So, the residents, they went to these meetings. They said, no, thank you. We do not want this. When the mayor was asked about it with the project, because Seth, as you said, there are a lot of people that are going, hey, we want this. There are some people that said no. The mayor said the board has spoken. The people have spoken. And he said that he said, I'm not going to support this project myself. So the people, they made it very clear they weren't a fan of it. They were not going to support this. The board also came forward and said it's not permitted within the zoning, and now the mayor has come out and they said, I didn't necessarily support it myself. The board didn't support it. The people didn't support it. It's not coming in. We talk about representation.
You ever been to Amherst?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. Why? What are you going to say? What are you going to say bad about Amherst? Would a data center make you go to Amherst? Is that where we're going to go here?
It actually enhance the area.
That's where we're going.
I'm not saying it's bad.
The AI data center would have made you say, you know what? Let me go to Amherst. let me go ahead and drive through there.
My prosthetic place is out there.
Okay, so why are you talking bad about Amherst?
I'm not.
You just did.
I just said it would enhance the area a little bit.
The people who live there say no.
Well.
They don't think so. But, we talk about it a lot, how we actually want to see representation for people. They did that. The zoning board listened. The people came there. They said, we don't want this. The zoning board looked into it. They said, okay, not allowed to. It's not permitted here. And then the mayor came and said, people spoke, board spoke. It is what it is. Seems pretty cut and dry there. But that's because that was one of the big stories too, one of the big headlines that were grabbing attention for people. So I wanted to make sure we covered that. What?
The data centers make a lot of noise.
Yes, yes, they do.
No.
Yeah, when we looked into the one they were going to build on the and make sure you look at the size, Seth. That's the thing. If you just look up, do AI data centers make noise? It's going to say no. Make sure you look at the proper size. This would have been a pretty good size data center.
So now we're judging by size?
Yeah, because that's the bigger the size, the bigger the fans.
Large data centers make a significant amount of noise.
Uh-huh. You hit it with the...
I could sleep with noise.
Oh, okay. Well, do it tonight. I'll tell you. Why don't you do that? Just turn up the TV all the way as you try to sleep tonight to practice.
I could do that.
Yeah, there you go. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's the final segment. We're going to put a bow on the show, if you will. So, yeah, if you want to call in, final segment, 216-901-0945. Feel free to text in. We do have some coming in we're going to catch up on. That number is 866-525-0955. We'll be back right after this.
watching to see what you do. Everyone's looking at you. Oh.
Your calls, your city, your country. Back to the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Get it right. Everybody's working for the weekend. Everybody wants a new romance. Everybody's going off the deep end.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show. It is Friday, and everybody's working for the weekend. It's so funny, man. People say some of the stupidest things they can in a chat just to get attention. It's very funny. I'm not talking about
bad.
No, I'm not talking about the texters. No, it's not even that it's bad. It just caught me off guard, but it's funny. But it's just like, what are you guys doing? Let's see. We do have some texts here. Someone texted in this from the 216, and you're a first-time texter. Thank you. It says, Jake, let Seth know he can be laid to rest in a cemetery's mausoleum. He doesn't have to go if you don't want to be buried.
But isn't that like in a wall?
Yeah, it's in a wall.
Well,
yeah, you can be in a
how
wall.
much better that is.
Well,
would you like somebody to open up your wall at home and stick you in it?
Well, you could do that.
No.
Somebody else texted. I just wanted to see your reaction. Somebody else texted in and said, 30 years from now, my grandkids looking at their watch. Granddad, say they used to have data centers hundreds of acres in size, and they do the same thing as my iWatch 3042 does. I mean, that's really the way that it's going. They're going to give up, they're going to give up a bunch of, just land, farmland, all these different things for these massive warehouses. And 5 years from now, it's going to be, the size of probably this room.
Isn't it weird to think about all the technology that you're going to miss out on when you die?
No, I'm all right.
See, I think that really bothers me.
No, I'm all right.
I want to see like a cool flying car or something. I'll never get to see it.
Okay. I mean, we could go, I'll get a slingshot.
I want to be preserved.
You want to? No. So, well, you know what? Somebody texted in. They said Seth's wife can store his body out in the garage until the rapture.
Yeah. Well, I want to be like head chopped off and frozen and like preserved and then bring me back to life.
Yeah. Well, so like Walt Disney style.
Yeah. Did Ted Williams do that too?
I think Ted Williams did do that. So you want to? So you want to be frozen?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the way to go.
Okay.
Well, I want to be frozen.
And then they can put your head on like a robot body or something.
Well, I need that now. I don't have much of my body left. But yeah, thaw me out in like 50 years. You'll be alive.
I might not be alive in 50 years. I don't know. We'll see. Somebody said if Seth was in a mausoleum and woke up, he couldn't kick his way out. Oh, see? Look at this.
Dude. Really?
That's from Bozo.
It's so terrible.
Oh, man.
It's true. It's accurate.
It is true. And Bozo, you got me. And Seth's reaction got me even more. Oh, man. I mean, that's...
All right. Now, here's a good question for AC.
Sorry. Yeah.
When I do die and the soul goes to wherever it's going to go, heaven, hell, or whatever, do I have my legs back?
Well, yeah, because you'd be created new. That's my understanding. Well, did Greek walk in there and make a noise as you were on the microphone? What is he doing?
I don't know. He's making noises.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
We're passing gas over here.
No, my understanding. That's my understanding. You're created new.
So, I won't be fat anymore.
Well, I don't know all that.
But if you know that I'm going to have legs and I got to get a new body, I'll be not fat.
Possibly.
I wonder what I'd look like though. Are my relatives going to then recognize me when I see them?
Yeah, no, you'll know.
If I'm not fat and have legs.
Yeah, you'll still know each other. That was always my understanding. I don't know.
Do I have a beard?
If you want one, you can have a heavenly beard.
Well, I'm just curious as to what I'm going to look like when I go to heaven or hell.
I don't know. Get good with God and you'll find out. I don't know. How about that for an answer, though?
I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything.
No. Well, yeah, I don't know for
that
sure.
I'm going to heaven, assuming. Now, I mean, that's maybe a stretch.
Well, why wouldn't you go to heaven?
Well, I mean, nobody's perfect.
You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect
So I'm
to go to
sorry for
heaven.
a lot of stupid things that I've done, but I'm just curious.
Have you accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior? Okay, so then you're going. Get good with God, though. That's all. I'm just saying. That's for anybody. Just get good with God, because you never know.
I understand that, but I just want to know if I'm going to come back with legs.
Yeah, I believe so.
Am I going to be like handicapped wheelchair heaven guy?
Somebody texted and said, playing God Shuffled His Feet by the Crash Test Dummies. Listen, the last two texts got me. Those were good. That's very funny. But yeah, no, I think
it's a legitimate question.
I mean, yeah, it's just get good with God. That's the main thing. Start praying.
That's fine, and I understand that, and I do that every day.
Okay,
but I'm just curious as to what I'm going to look like. I mean, obviously, God doesn't like fat people.
What does that mean?
Well, you're supposed to respect your body. And
Yeah,
body's your temple and stuff. So obviously, overeating is not exactly doing that.
Well, then if that's the case, then some of the pastors that I've seen on television are gonna have some things to answer for.
God probably doesn't like you being fat.
Well, I mean, I think God wants us to be in the best health and the best that we can be.
Want us to overindulge in
because
candy.
as Christians that are speaking outwardly about being Christian and follower of God, we want to be the best representative we can be.
Exactly. So he doesn't like fat people.
Well, I'm not saying that he doesn't like fat people. I mean, if food is food, so you want to eat food.
Right, but God didn't put M&Ms down here so I can eat them all.
Well, yeah, don't eat. Yeah, I mean, don't overeat. Don't do that.
God probably doesn't like fat people.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. But you know what? I mean, I'm sure we can find in the Bible somewhere where it says something along the lines of that.
Hey, Steve, for tomorrow or for Monday, please find out if God likes fat people.
That's the big question for the weekend, at least for Seth. Does God like fat people?
Well, I think that's a pretty pertinent question.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a decent question. I mean, it's something. Because we got like a minute left. What do you think of everything we talked about today with Vivek and Amy Acton? What are some final thoughts you have?
I think Amy Acton has a real shot at winning this thing, and I did not think so a couple months ago.
You know what? I would agree with that. I think that there are a lot of things that the Vivek campaign needs to straighten out. And it's not a good representation of the Republican voters right now. I'm not saying in general. So when, if somebody clips this and sends it to him, make sure you keep this part in so he doesn't freak out. Right now, it's not a good representation of the party and the voters. I will say that. Yeah. This has been the Jake Underwood Show. Thank you for joining us. If you're at work, you're halfway through your day, go eat some lunch. Have a great day. If you joined us on any of the lives that we have, TikTok, Rumble, whatever it might be, thank you so much for doing that. Have an incredible weekend. Tell someone about Jesus today. Give them some good news. We talked about a lot of negative things. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday.